Okay, now we are going to follow up with doing the bale of hay, and we're still working on turning forms into objects. So now we're going to use the cone to turn this cone into the hay that we see on this picture. If you're not looking at the picture while you're doing it, you're not doing it correctly, because we're trying to draw what we think it looks like instead of what it looks like. So you've got your ellipse right here. You want to make sure that the ends of the ellipse are the same thickness, meaning you don't want it to look like this. You want to make sure that it's the same on both sides. Now, I'm going to determine the height of it, and I'm going to draw a guideline that is parallel with the edges of the paper. The guideline, where it stops, is going to be the top of this cone. Then you connect the edge of the ellipse on both sides to the top of my vertical line. Then you're going to erase. Your guidelines. Now, if you look at the top of this, you could see a triangle of where it's tied off at the top. So I've got my guideline of where my hay is going to be. Now, you're not going to use the shading stump on this, because we're going to use markings to look like hay. And it's basically kind of vertical scribbles. They're close together on this side, and the reason why they're close together is because we want it to be filled in with dark marks. Because if you look at this, most of this side is in shadow. Some of the markings are longer than others, and some of them disappear into the shadow up here. You have 3 values on this. You have as dark as your pencil will go, gray, and white. Fill this triangle in with the same markings. I'm going to do a few dark markings over here to create some shadows between the lighter pieces that's not in shadow. So now I'm going to use my 2B pencil and fill it in on this side. Now it all still looks like too much of the same value, so I'm going to fill in the white areas on this side with my 2B pencil to make it look like this side is more in shadow. Okay, now I need to do my cast shadow. If you look at the cast shadow, it's the same thickness as the base of the hay. Okay, so if I'm going to measure this, it's going to go off the page. It's going to be a flat cone. And there you have the bale of hay. I could go through and make this lighter on this side. So don't use your shading stump on that one, because if you use the shading stump, it's going to make the texture disappear.